Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. I am so glad you've joined me today as we continue our study in Psalm 32, a maskil of David. This is a teaching psalm. It is also this is the third psalm in 16 psalms of the Beatitudes of the Psalms. And this is also the second penitential psalm. So as I said yesterday, lots of lines coming in here in this psalm. And we're focusing now on this idea of the penitential nature of the psalm. Because yesterday we started with the problem. Blessed is the man whose sin is forgiven. Now, you say, well, that's not a problem. That's a blessing, right? Because it's a beatitude. It begins with blessed. And the man is blessed who has this, the sin, the transgression, the iniquity, the deceit, all of that's taken care of, but it's there. Every one of us has it. Blessed is the man whose sin. So there are those who are blessed because they're forgiven, and then there are those who haven't been forgiven yet. Which one are you? Blessed is the man whose sin is forgiven. But now notice verses 3 and 4. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old, through my roaring all the day long. For day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned into the drought of summer. Selah. Okay. So silent about what? Well, silent about the sins and the transgressions and the iniquities. I'm silent. I was silent when I didn't say anything. Something happened to me. And Christian friend, if you are silent about your sin, then something is going to happen to you as well. You're going to wear out because you're keeping it in. You need to confess it to Him. I read this and I think, this is just exactly the same thing that Adam tried in the garden. You remember in Genesis chapter 1? In Genesis chapter 3, verse 8. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. Yeah, and so the Lord calls to him, and Adam says, well, I was afraid because I was naked. See, when we sin, we're afraid. I don't know what we're afraid of, but we don't want to go before a holy God when we're carrying about our sin. And so what it does is the shame of it all causes us to be silent. And there is shame involved. But silence is the result of that. It's the fruit of the shame. We don't want to talk to the Lord about it. And he says, I was silent, I roared, day and night your hand was heavy upon me. And I love right there in verse 4, my moisture is turned into the drought of summer. Yeah, he was dried up. And actually, I have in my translation, my juice, not my moisture, but my juice. My juice is turned into the fever heat of summer. That's my translation. Yeah. Why? Because I've shut it up. There's no dialogue. There's no interchange. There's no concourse between my God and myself. And so when that happens, when it happens because of my sin, and it happens because my pride shuts down my confession, then friends, the life that we receive through prayer and confession to Him is stopped. It shuts off. It's a natural thing for the Christian to confess. We must confess. Blessed is the man whose sin is forgiven. We must confess. He says, I was silent, my bones wore out, waxed old, I roared all day long. Day and night your hand was heavy upon me, my juice was dried up. It was like the fever heat of summer. And now tomorrow we're going to see and we have a Selah right here, so we're going to pause and think about that. Now tomorrow we come back and we're going to read verse 5 and we're going to read verse 6 tomorrow. And in verse 5, we're going to see that he makes a good decision. He makes a good choice. So we'll talk about that tomorrow here on Daily Dose Radio.